Please let there be enough signal. Yay, we're live! Hey everyone, it's Anne,
Renata,
and
Deb.
Yay! And we're at Geelong. I keep saying Geelong.
Geelong.
And my husband keeps saying it's Geelong. And I went, it's Geelong? Geelong Gaol. You can probably hear it echoing a bit. Can you all hear us okay?
Yeah, let us know how you're listening. How you're listening to us.
So what I'm going to do for you guys is, so this is for you and for you.
Yes.
I've put the link there. So if you cut and paste that into your browser, then you can actually go for a wander and show other people part of the jail. The only thing is we'll need to get our headphones organised if we do that, but let's just hang here for a bit and say hi to everyone. So hi Bronwyn, this is the first time I've used this setup in a long time, so I hope it's working. Yes, Renata just remembered where the camera was. I saw it go.
I do that all the time.
Just
trying to raise
adjusting
questions and then, oh my God,
I'm
the camera's
adjusting
up.
my glasses, everyone.
So my eye's going to be down here because I'm just putting up the things. Hi Donna, hi James, hi Andrew.
Invite your friends, guys. Invite your friends.
Yeah,
Tell them we're live.
Do we get to go to Geelong Gaol to have a little lockdown on our own?
Absolutely.
Never. So, yeah, who's been here before?
Geez, they're really quiet.
Oh no.
All right. So, look, can you give us a little bit of a background about how long the jail's been here? And we've got some friends over here that we're going to introduce shortly.
Spiel.
So, you do your spiel, and
spiel.
I'll keep working this thing here.
So the jail opened in 1853 and didn't close until 1991. So, and in exactly the same conditions as you will see it later on. One of the key things that you'll notice is there's no toilets in any of the cells. They had a bucket for a toilet right up until the day it closed in 1991.
Wow.
And that was one of their first jobs every day, is they had to go and empty their toilet bucket out
Really?
into the sewer
That's
bin.
that long?
Yeah. So that was the same all the way through its history. So male and female prison for the early years. So we had female prisoners here until about 1900. After that, we had the odd one here that was on remand if they'd been in court in Geelong, which they'd have to hire a female warder to look after them. But pretty much a male prison after the 1900s. In the 1860s, we had a girls' school down one end, so we had about 198 young girls between 3 and 16 down one end, while down the other end of the prison we had male and female prisoners still. So, which is not really a good combination, and I think it took them about 4 years before they realised that perhaps wasn't the best idea, and they removed the children. After that, we became a hospital jail, which meant that any of the prisoners who were in any of the other jails here in Victoria, if they were sick, old, dying, decrepit, elderly, they would come here. So they thought, being in close proximity to the ocean, it became known as the seaside resort, or the what they call it, a prison of the ill was the other name that it copped in the early years.
Seaside resort.
I know, right? So they felt that being so close to the ocean would have recuperative powers for all of those ill and sick prisoners in the early days. So we have a hospital up the top of the stairs.
That much.
Yes.
True.
Well, considering there was 250 deaths that I found up till about 1920s, I'd question that. We had 6 executions here. So the first 2 was a double execution, which was a public execution just outside the front gates, about 200 metres. And then after that, after they changed to a private executions bill, they decided that was a little bit barbaric. Maybe we better bring that inside the walls so not everyone can see. We had another 4 inside the walls. So, and that's where our 2 lovely gentlemen that we have sitting down the other end of the table. Yeah, the gallows is just there.
Right. So
the
you can
last
actually go out there, Renata, and point that around to where the gallows are up there to show people where they are.
You need to show me where that link was, please.
It's in the comments.
It's in the live
At the top of the
live
comments.
feeds. But you just have to take that camera and turn it around and point it up there.
I won't see what's going on. Just let me just.
It's too hard.
Hold on.
It's too hard.
Hold on. There's a thickness here because I've got someone standing right next to me. and I can't hear
And
a
they're
thing.
talking.
They're
and
all
I'm
talking. Everyone's talking.
And I
But
just can't-
if
I
we
can't
pass along
hear.
maybe our two guys, we can show everyone our last two men that
Oh,
were
yes.
executed.
Pass me the lovely
Yeah,
gentleman.
these are my new toys. These are our boys. So this one's Thomas Menard. So he was the last guy that was executed here in 1865. So he was the only one that was actually executed on the gallows. That will, when Renata works out how to do her phone, we'll show you.
Look at him in that
So
light. Wow.
he was a 28-year-old American who killed his workmate
Oh, you're probably too
because
late
he was
now.
making
I'll
slurs
send it
against
again.
his homeland. And 1865, time of the American Civil War, didn't go down terribly well. And so he went into his hut one night and shot him, as you do.
Yep.
So, and then took off to Beechworth, I think. And that before he was captured, but eventually he ended up here. He took 10 minutes to strangle to death on the end of the noose, which they found was acceptable because he was young and he had a thick neck.
Oh, darling.
So,
Now,
Oh, poor
our
thing.
beautiful Danielle Verhoeven, has also had this thing that someone is right here.
Cool.
Now, who do you believe
is
that
it?
this is?
possibly it's Edward because
Edward.
I'm around, and that Edward tends to look out for me. So generally, if I'm around, he's usually around somewhere.
All right, well, we like her, so you don't need to worry about us.
Oh, can I give you the other head?
Oh,
Yeah, give us the other head.
I'll get
So
a
this
head.
is the second last man that was executed. So this guy is James Murphy, who was executed in November 1863 for killing Constable Daniel O'Boyle down at the Warrnambool Courthouse. He was taken in to help with some cleaning up. Found a hammer that had been left there by one of the workmen and decided to use it on the constable, and then took off. So he was found. He was in his 60s when he was executed.
I was going to say he
was
looked
brought down.
older.
Yeah, he was about. Yeah, I think he was about 60. So he left behind a wife and 5 children. So
they shaved their heads?
yeah, so
For the
part of
mask?
anyone that knows anything about phrenology and what they used to do, so a lot of the prisoners, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was Australia-wide, but
Yes,
I
it
know in
was.
Victoria,
Yeah.
at least they used to, a lot of the executed prisoners would have their head shaved, thin plaster over them until it was set, and then they'd divide that into 2 halves and then make a positive mould. Women, however, would be allowed to keep their hair and their eyebrows. They would do it with it while they still had their hair on for some reason. And we only had 5 women that were executed here in Victoria
That's.
out of the 186.
Were any women executed here?
No. So all of the women that were executed in Victoria were all done at Melbourne Jail.
Right.
Apart from the last one, which was Jean Lee, who was the last execution in Australia, the last female execution in Australia, which was done out at Pentridge. And we also have the thing of having the last male executed in Australia in Ronald Bryan in 1963.
Just
63,
for
67.
anyone who's really interested in the minutiae of life, you will notice on this head, as I have, that on this side it looks like all the rope marks are on the neck. Can you see that?
So you'd have a number of casts that would be taken.
On this side, it looks like he's had the blowout.
Yeah.
Right. So it looks like he's
Yeah, I
kind
did
of
notice
gone.
that he was a bit...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these ones are very creative. There's a really cool guy up in Sydney by the name of Stuart who works for Bloodhound FX. He's the guy that actually made these for us. So we had the originals came out for the first time in about 2015. And I managed to take some 360-degree photos of them while they were out, and we got Stuart to
Drop
recreate them. No, they're fiberglass, they bounce. I've dropped them all the time.
I couldn't even
Probably shouldn't admit that.
talk about disrespect.
Hey, I have MS, I drop things, all right? Sometimes when I've got the heads, I just go straight through the hands.
So, Deb, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you
Cool.
been associated here with the jail?
Okay, so I've been at the jail since about 2013. So I came in through a love of history and my need to correct people when they get information wrong. Wouldn't do that at all. And basically I never left. So I've been here ever since. So now I'm one of the people that runs it. I'm sort of just starting to step back a little bit again now because of my health. But that's why I'm starting to do podcasts now, so you still have to listen to me.
But you speak so well. You're
Sometimes.
fascinating. I love it.
You also have an awesome team.
I do, which is some of them
And
are
two
sitting
members
over
are
here.
right here.
There's
Can you
still
come
more
here just for a
coming.
minute? Come and show yourself.
There are some more
That's
coming
important.
in, so we've got a really, really fabulous team. In fact, we've actually grown so well now that we're actually
And down they go.
we're up to about
Hang on,
20
hang on.
staff
There they
now.
are.
So yeah, so we have
We've got a bit
Jodie.
of a lag happening here at the moment.
That's all right. So Jodie, who is next to me, Jodie's one of our investigators. So she's been around since before I was. Then she left and went to Broome, and then she'd come back, and we're like, come back. So she's back here doing some investigations and that for us. She did our Stiglitz one for the first time on Saturday night. And then Andrew takes on the character of John Mchenry, who was a prisoner here who escaped in 1869. I should let you tell your story. You can tell us about John.
But John is a cheeky bugger. Yes, because nicked up in London town, went all the way to Fremantle in shackles, got out of them, ended up going on the Mistletoe, which is a ship all the way here to Melbourne, was arrested on sight and told he had 10 days to bugger off out of the state. So he went to New South Wales, and any of you that have been there will know New South Wales is awful. So he came back, and he was arrested and put in here for 9 months doing hard labour. So
New South Wales is a shithole. Isn't it?
and then he procured some builder's overalls, put them over his uniform, walked bold as brass out that front gate. No one stopped him.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was a cheeky bugger because he actually mailed back his uniform to the governor.
So he can get charged with theft.
Oh, really?
At the governor's
Boy.
expense, of course.
That suits you just well.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot of.
So Andrew does our ghost tours, and as you can tell, we do our ghost tours in character. So, and all of our characters are real people that we hear at the jail, whether they were workers or whether they were prisoners. They take on, our guys all take on characters of someone who is actually here.
And I have to say, that's how we actually met you.
Yes.
Renata
Madam Murder.
Yes, had organised a ghost cruise.
Yes.
Yes.
And we stopped it.
2015.
Oh, you remember? I don't remember nothing. And she couldn't go on the cruise ship, so I got the job. And that part of it was going on this tour, and it was led by Deb.
Doing our Chinatown tour, where I think it was,
It was.
Madam Brussels I would take on, and my lovely big hat and my bright red dress.
Yeah, and you
So,
had that
yeah.
giggle. It was
Which I still
hilarious.
have. People think I'm evil, I don't know why.
People think we're evil too. Don't worry about it. You're in good company.
So yeah, but no, that was a lot of fun. We're sort of still going. We're actually doing on a little bit of a hiatus Chinatown at the moment, but we will be bringing that back towards the end of the year. In fact, Andrew has to learn the script at the moment for a school group we've got in October. So that we're doing November. But yeah, so we're getting that one up and running again. So,
Now, did you find that link?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, jeez, how many times do I have
you
to...
found it when you
All right, I'm going to put it in
Yeah, I've
right
got-
now.
I've got
So you're in
mine.
the
Where?
comments.
Where?
Go to
Where?
comments.
All right.
Right, so I'm going to... This is for Renata and Deb. I need to put this in
I'm
here.
already here. I just haven't
All right,
logged in. I
okay,
have it.
so you got it now. It should pop up any second because I am a little bit ahead of the rest of you. So just hang in there because we want to send them to show different parts. Oh, there she is. Oh, so we'll get...
I'm going to hand it off to Jodie. Jodie's going to take my phone and walk away.
Yep. What we might do is, do you have a female jackass to see
Sorry?
to put headphones on?
No, I forgot to wear my headphones.
I've got headphones, but do you have a C or a...
No, it's the lightning jack.
Grab one of the headphones.
We're so organised.
Yeah, just one of those ones. Plug it in.
Oh, where
Sorry,
do
we're
I-
just
Where
getting-
do I find
Technical
this?
difficulties.
Where do I find
There should
it?
have been a link that
There
came up.
wasn't. There wasn't. There was no
God,
link.
she's challenged. Can you send her the link?
Don't ask me, I don't know.
Turn the
I'm not
sound
really-
down for a minute.
Oh, we've got Luke on as well.
And then
Oh,
I'll
Luke
send
Luke
it
was,
into
I
our
think, wanting to
message
come on
group.
just to chat. Sorry, Luke, we're just trying to get these
There you
guys
go.
set up so they can go for a wander into the jail.
You should be able to take that back. So if you hit...
If I pop these in, you'll be able to see what's happening here.
I'm just lost it. shoulder but keeps hesitating. Medium height and apologetic.
Right, there's Renata.
It's okay. Yeah, I've got it. I'm just going to go and see if I've got headphones. So bear with me, guys. Bear with me. This is technology. I'm going the wrong space. I've got to go to the kitchen. Damn it. I've realised that. I get lost in a box. Here we go. All right. Okay, so I'm back in the kitchen. Just going to see if I have.
Are you coming into the haunted kitchen?
Is it a haunted kitchen?
It sure is.
Okay. Right, just wait. Okay, it's working. Is this working, guys? Right, I'm on. Awesome. Do you know how to turn this around? Yeah, I know. I'll leave that down. I'm just thinking if I do.
That'll take you back.
Yeah.
If not,
How do I turn it around, Anne?
yeah, I have a spinning one like the selfie stuff. That's right.
Right, so I've just muted Renata while she gets herself organised. So bear with us.
Working well.
Yeah, we've got no rehearsal for this. We weren't sure if we were even going to have signals, so
We've got like 10 minutes to go before we went live.
yeah. So I can see that your phone, Deb, is about this. Renata, I'm going to wait till they move away. Does anyone have any questions about the jail for Deb while we are here? Whilst we get our shit together.
We will get it sorted out. We will get it all sorted eventually.
Can you see what they were talking about with the
Yeah.
lopsided neck?
Yeah. And there's a lot of, so when they used to do these death masks, sometimes you'd have second, third, fourth, fifth prints from the same one.
Yeah.
And as they got further away from it, you wouldn't have as much detail on the masks. This is obviously pretty much close to a first generation one.
Wow.
So
The
which is
detail
why
in these faces.
it's just amazing.
Astounding.
And it's so cool to be able to see their faces. I'm spewing because in 1870s we know all four were sitting on a shelf in the governor's office, and the first two have disappeared. We don't know.
Oh, no.
They've been lost in time, unfortunately, and no one knows where any of those are now. So we have to do with these, but they're not my only death masks. I think we have a collection of 7 in total now.
Nice.
So we'll take you over. We've actually got our death mask and phrenology room over here. We'll go into a little bit later. And of course, we've got Ned Kelly down in the saga behind the armour thing.
Yes, down there.
We're doing really well tonight.
I could only do so much by myself.
and to be honest, probably some of the ghosts are going, what do these buggers think they're doing? We're just going to play with everything.
Yeah, we're only going to be on here till 8:30 and then we're going to bugger off.
They're going to play. But so we have a collection of death masks. That's one of our exhibitions that we've done. We were talking about how much we've done in the 18 months since we've taken over the museum side. So we have a display on the colonial jails, which is all the 12 colonial jails that we here in Victoria, all built on the similar Pentonville system, which is silence and separation, like I say, very similar to what Maitland was. We have a display on the hulks, which we've got our video playing in there now, which shows what the success looked like back in the 1910s, which is one of the hulks that was here in down at Williamstown.
Oh, and the Ned Kelly suits.
And then that's our latest one, our saga behind the
Oh
armour.
wow, it's amazing. She's got all the Ned Kelly boys, all the Ned Kelly boys, the Kelly gang, with their different suits.
While you two are chatting, we're over there at the war table.
Well, you're not down here, so where are you? Have you come
only
up to the
Jojo
street yard? I've got Deb. Do people on tour sometimes feel very overwhelmed and a bit hot and sick?
Sometimes, yes.
I'm on here.
We have
so
had, we
You're
have
not
had some.
backstage.
I've had to call an ambulance. Backstage.
Yeah, we've had it. We actually had one recently, didn't
Can
we?
you put me on?
We had a heart
Oh,
attack.
I've got Deb. You're not down here. Look down the bottom.
What do you got up?
She's on some random person's stream yard by the looks of it.
She's definitely got you. It's a camera working. You're just not in the
I can't find any.
Yeah. Okay. So just have to be.
Do you want me
Once
to
you get
go
away
up-
from us,
Maybe-
you'll be okay.
Do you want me to go up to the gallows?
Yeah. Because I can mute you so that you can show people and we can show people what's
Just show
happening
you
there.
that. Yeah, we can just mute the audio.
To turn it around, do I just tap it like normal?
Have you got me now?
There should be a.
Yes, I've got Renata now.
But
Can't change this.
So what I'm going to do is mute you so that we don't get that. So once Renata gets in position, we can change over to this pair.
Yeah, you should be. They should come up.
In the
with it now,
meantime,
it's
you can
fine.
have a look at up his nose.
If not, just
okay, have you got me now?
have we lost everyone yet?
Yep. Having fun? Anyone seasick yet?
Okay. All right, we're going to go into the
We've got two angles. All right, you go to the morgue.
Oh, aren't we professional? 2 angles.
All right, I'm going to wait. We'll follow
Sanders
them.
going down with Renata
I'm
down
going
to
to
the
mute.
kitchen morgue area.
I'm going to mute me and switch to them.
Right, guys, come in with us. You. So here is the morgue. So can you tell us anything about this particular site?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. Right. Now, in here, we normally, when we do paranormal investigations, we have volunteers on here and we pick up a heck of a lot of stuff. There's the feeling of pressure on your chest. There is the feeling of elevation. Also, we get a lot of entities that we've had to shut down in that, behind that glass over there. We've had to keep them at bay over the last few months. That's been quite a hot spot, but
Wow,
not
okay.
a particularly good hot spot. But in here, it really is a sense of, you get a lot of senses of touch, a lot of elevation, a lot of pressure on your chest. This is an original autopsy table from 18, not that this would have been here in 1832 by any means, but because it wasn't open to 1803. However, the original morgue was out in the yard. They transferred it in here because of the fact that it is a lot cooler in this side of the jail, and they needed the room in the yard for hard labour and things like that. And also the proximity to the kitchen, because they used to store food in here too. Imagine that.
Nice.
Yeah, not good at all. However, when we have people lie on here, similar sensations from independent, unassociated people on a regular basis. And that is literally hands touching you, pressure, sensation of someone checking you over, let's say. It's around the British Empire from 1832 onwards. If you died within an institution where you were incarcerated, the authorities around the empire, they had every right to conduct an autopsy on you. They want to know what makes up an evil little git like you. They'll do it in a place like this, and it'll be butcher, opening you up, taking out parts, inspecting them, cleaning them, maybe preserving them. If at the end of it, they don't want to keep it, they've done all the inspections they want, they literally just shove it back in any old barrel and a big stitch up and off you go, 6 foot under.
Right. Where did they bury the bodies from here?
Where we actually had 1 or 2 that we know of in the yard here, but the majority of them, a lot of them were released to friends and family.
Yeah.
However, if they didn't have that, straight up to Eastern Cemetery.
Right.
More than likely. That opened from around about 1839, so it would have been well and truly working by about 1853 when this place up.
Yeah. And would they have been in unmarked graves, or did they
Pretty
have
much.
unmarked graves?
Yeah. If there were some family or someone raised some money or whatever it might be, there might have been a headstone.
Yeah.
However, a relative of mine is actually buried up there, and she was buried in 1878, having come out here in 1853 on a ship called the Six Sisters from England with her then husband, William Pratt, and their 2 children at the time. Between 1853 on arrival in Geelong and 1878, when she passed away at 52, she had another 7 children.
Ah, yes.
So, although she's up there, but when I went to look for that grave only the other day, they had a record of her being buried there.
Yes.
However, no headstone, unfortunately.
Wow.
So a bit of pendulum work, I think, to
Yes.
find out where she is.
Mm.
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's head back and let's just see how that went as our live from here. Make sure everyone connected and could hear everything. So I'm just going to head back to the girls. Just make sure that that went fine. How did that go? Did that go fine? Awesome.
You're up there, Trace.
So our part went fine.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so
Guys,
I'm not that great at switching between stuff. Obviously, I am
We're trying
not
to make it look really professional.
trying to make it look good. So, Renata, you're not on now. Renata, you're not on. I haven't switched to you, but I can if you're going to go look elsewhere. Did you want to go somewhere else, or?
I might go just down here and instead
Okay.
just for a minute.
See
All
if
right,
that
I'll
little- see
switch
if
you
that
back
little
to
girl-
Renata then, guys. Here she
We
comes.
sometimes have a little girl that sits on the bottom.
No, I'm fine. All right, I'm just going to head down. Remember when I was standing here, guys, beforehand, and I asked whether the left-hand side or the right-hand side was a little bit more creepy? Well, I'm going to go down the left-hand side now. So come with me. I'm just going to go down this way and come exploring while the others set up. So above me is a row of cells up there. And we're just going to go down here. Now, apparently, there is often a little spirit that sits at the end of the stairs there. So I'm just going to not go down there just for a moment. I'm going to see whether we might encourage the little poppet to come through and take a seat. Who's here with us tonight? Who's around these particular cells? Who's around these particular cells? We've come to say hello. We've come a really long way to say hello to all of you. And I know there is someone standing next to my left shoulder right now. So there is a gentleman standing to my left shoulder. It's like he is just making sure that I'm okay. And I think he's looking at what I'm looking at through my phone. So can you see what I'm seeing? There we go. I'm just going to go down a little bit further. So we've got different cells here, of course. Number 35. I'm going to just take you in just for a minute. So this has got a wooden floor, which is interesting in itself. I'm going to take you in. And here we have the story of Frederick Parkinson, who stabbed a warder. And that's awesome, because you've got a real photo of him here. How awesome is this? So he died at Geelong Gaol on the 20th of August 1892, aged 84.
After stabbing a warder.
Apparently after stabbing a warder.
So if any of you are feeling anything, seeing anything, pop it in the comments. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you're feeling or seeing.
Eddie.
Okay, so somebody, Margie O'Brien, it's a delay by the time I click on things, saying she's got the name Eddie.
Edward.
Those stairs are pretty awful.
She can't hear me.
Look at the indentations in those
They're
stairs
original.
going up.
The 1850 stairs, we believe.
So they're from the 1850s, guys. Can you
Shall I go
hear me
into
talking
another one
now?
of the cells and have a look? Look at this one. Come on. Anyone in there?
I've just added Deb to the stream as well.
I've got Percy.
Hi.
Is that your surname or your first name?
I want to see a hand come out and grab her.
I tell you what, this is far more fascinating in the dark when you're kind of in the right mood rather than.
Linda,
during
that
the
moan
day.
could have been me. I think I went, I've had cakes for dinner from Brunetti's. My tummy hurts.
Okay, so I'm going to head back up this way. Take you just to have a look that way up there. It's very quiet here, and I'm used to Maitland Gaol where literally every 10 minutes we have the trains going past, and they create a whole lot of infrasound, and that seems to resonate all the way through the jail. And here it is awfully quiet. This would be an amazing spot to bring the parabolic ears and to
I didn't
just
pack,
see
I'm
what
sorry.
you can hear.
I've got one up there. It's not looking obvious.
So we've got some prison guards' uniforms here, or some triggers. And we're going to just go down. Okay, all right. Yep.
So hang on 2 secs.
Hang on, Jade.
It's just a little bit of a delay. Oh, there's a delay with the microphones, and like I click on it and then it you don't know whether it's worked or not. So I'm going to add her to the stream
Okay, yeah.
so we can hear you now.
Okay, beautiful.
And
I don't see it.
I'm going to mute me because I can hear me in the background.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're up on the gallows, guys, so I'm just going to turn you around and show you some of the boards that we have here. And these are our condemned cells. I don't know if you can see, I don't know how to turn this around, so I'm just doing it the best I can do. So, awesome. This is where the prisoners spent their last night before they were hung or executed. As you can see, I don't know how good you can see along here. Can you see that?
Trapdoor, people.
So we have one on each side. and they would get the choice of their food the night before they were hung. So they would normally get meat and veg. So here we have the beam. I don't know how well you can, the beam up here, and the noose. Can you see the noose? Yep. Beautiful. So our prisoners would be put up here, and I've actually got some great photo evidence of a person that has walking along here on a tour one night, and they told me that they could feel their neck burning. And I've actually got some great photos of just one side of their neck where the rope, it was like the rope burn from the gallows. Deb was talking about Edward before. This is the cell here that he was in, and he is very, very active here. But I'm going to pass you to Andrew, and Andrew can tell you some history about the prisoners that were here.
Excellent. Thank you, Jodie. Very kind of you. Now, to all our respective viewers, we had 4 executions here within the Geelong Gaol itself. However, here in Geelong, there was actually 6 executions. In 1854, we had 2 guys, John Gunn and George Roberts. They were let out of this place, across the road, over Myers Street to where the hospital out the front now stands. They were led up a yellow timber construction. They had to face off against a crowd of around about 2,500 people. They were a baying crowd. They were hurling abuse, shouting and screaming, drunk and disorderly, farmers rocking up with horse and carts, so people had to pay a few pennies and have an elevated view of the execution. Those 2 guys didn't even get their last statements out because that crowd was so unruly. So, without further ado, they were trussed up, knocked round the side of their ear holes, put over their heads. Thank you very much. They pulled a lever on them. 60 minutes they left them swinging in the breeze over there. But that crowd's behaviour was actually quoted when they changed the law some months later to say that public executions, they weren't really a deterrent. They were more like public entertainment. That unruly crowd of a couple of thousand plus, that behaviour, it changed the rules and regulations forever. The capital punishment that happened to happen after that had to be within the confines of a jail. Geelong Gaol was no different. 4 executions happened right where I stand here and now. You've only got to go on to Trove. Those sort of, there goes the trapdoor right now.
Will you not do that? Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable. We'll have to censor the language on this show. Unbelievable. Anyway, there was a very close call, actually. Just after this place first opened in 1853, we had John Goldman. He was to be executed here in the jail. Thing was, there was a reprieve, and the messenger arrived on horseback first thing in the morning out the front of the gates 10 minutes prior to that bloke getting strung up. Imagine the emotion that would have been going through his mind, his heart, his soul. 10 minutes, and he got away with it. Wow. Damn lucky. As Jodie just explained, though, where we stand at the moment, we have 2 condemned cells. We have figurines of all the officials that would have been here. A priest of your denomination, a warden, a sheriff, the governor, a couple of guards, the executioner. He stands in the corner here to my left. Looks a little bit like Prince Harry, doesn't he? Look at him. Yes. Anyway, in the middle is the poor soul that is going to drop like a ton of bricks through this trapdoor underneath me. Thing is, don't get you all the time, do they? Now, the thing is, underneath this trapdoor, there's a bit of a mechanism. When the lever's pushed ahead of the executioner, underneath the mechanism is pulled to one side, unlocks the door in 2 of these corners, and the door swings down and hits a beam beneath me. Thing was, very bizarre execution. James Murphy. He killed a constable down in Warrnambool. He was drunk and disorderly at the time, gets led away from the courthouse, wants to escape. He's not going to spend 6 weeks in the lockup. Ended up killing that police officer that was escorting him back to the lockup. When he came here, it took him a fair few minutes to get strung up. They brought him out first thing in the morning, put the noose around his neck, stood him to attention. 8:01, the lever was supposed to be pulled. 8:16, this bloke was still here. He was whinging and moaning and shuffling around all over the joint. Then, eventually, he was bolstered with prayer, held back by a couple of guards as well. They jumped out the way. Down he went through this trap door. But the thing was, the door, when it was opened, he used to have a rope on the bottom of the door together with a couple of sandbags. And they would stop that door bouncing off the beam below me. When it opened, thing was, the sandbags were too heavy for the rope tied to the bottom of the door. So the rope snapped, sandbags hit the floor, the door swings back and smacks him in the face, drew blood through his hood. Yes, got a smack in the face with a door and a broken neck. Shouldn't have done what he did, should he? Thing was, took him 8 whole minutes to die on the end of a rope. Imagine that. The witnesses, all of them, we had all of the inmates outside their cell doors on these very gantries. They were made to witness it, whether they liked it or not. The governor, he had about 60 or so VIPs, shall we say, down there in the circle where Debs and Anne and Renata are at the moment. They'd be there, literally, they'd be lawmakers, they'd be business people, they'd be governor's associates, that sort of stuff. And they'd all want to satisfy their own morbid fascination by getting up and close and personal to a bloke's last few minutes alive. Pretty gruesome. Not much of the way of entertainment, if you ask me. But anyway, 4 lost souls. They're still here. They're still wandering. Imagine the emotion. Imagine it. The anticipation of being put on a rope. Let alone the witnesses. They would have been nervous as well, wouldn't they? All of them. The journalists on site, licking their pencils and scribbling down what was going on. Absolutely shocking. A horrible, nasty way to die. Well, it's one way of escaping, isn't it? Right, I'll pass you back. Thank you very much.
Someone's enjoying themselves way too much.
Gotta love our history.
And there we are. So I'm back on with the sound. Sorry guys, there's a delay when I click and I'm not sure, and sometimes I click again and then it double mutes me. So where are you, Renata?
She disappeared again.
I've lost you in the live stream, so you need to add yourself back in. She's great with technology. Wasn't that fantastic, guys? Wow.
And if you want to see more, join us for a ghost tour at 8 o'clock every night.
So are you going 7 days a week? Or?
Pretty much, yeah. School holidays at the moment, so yeah, definitely. But we do have them out. Sometimes we block out Monday and Tuesday nights just for school groups. But yeah, generally we run pretty much 7 nights a week if we've got a minimum of 4 people.
Wow.
So yeah.
So we feel very privileged that you allowed us to jump in here tonight with all of you guys. So Renata is back. I can see her. Oh no, she's not ready. She's just got to put her lipstick on. Hang on, I'm going to add it to the string because all I can see is her nose. there, right. So Renata, you can. You talking now?
Hold on. No, you don't want me. You want this.
Okay. Well, I'm going to mute.
All right. So I've just come across these lovely lads here. And this seems to be the wall of shame. So we've got prisoners here from the 1800s. And they were here for things like receiving, vagrancy, threatening, idle and disorderly, rape, and assault. My phone was in the way of the rest of the word after ass, and I was thinking, what was he here for? But never mind. So we've got people here. I'll show you these lovely lads here. Now, he's a bit of a cutie. All right, his name was Robert Colson. Sorry? Oh, really? Oh, yes, look. 2 Robert Colsons, like father, like son. That's a bit sad. Oh, this poor gentleman, look at him. Oh, dear. Graham Duncan. Goodness gracious me. Oh, these souls are all a part of the jail. They're a part of the jail. Okay, yep. So we have John Wallace here. So John Wallace did 12 months hard labour and, oh dear, he exposed himself. Oh no, I'm sorry, John. And then we have James, what? The first what? Oh, let's not go there. Let's not go there. So we have James Fitzpatrick causing poison to be taken as to endanger life. And what it does is it explains their features here and the offence. So it's really interesting. We have this likely lad here, 6 months hard labour, idle and disorderly, intent to commit a felony. That's him. Then we have George Weir, vagrancy. Now, vagrancy in many cases back then was just being homeless, not having anywhere to go, not having anywhere to be. We have this young lad here. He only looks really young, 9 months hard labour. And this was vagrancy as well. And he was a rogue and a vagabond. Oh my goodness. He went to the reformatory school. And then we have William Barrett, 18 months hard labour. He was also a rogue and a vagabond, and he obtained money by false pretenses. And look, we've got a lady. Goodness gracious me, 12 months hard labour, illegally on premises, receiving, stealing in a dwelling, larceny, stealing in a dwelling. Oh, my darling. God, life must have been tough for you. Goodness gracious. So she would have committed a number of offences. So here are the original sheets that they had. And these wonderful people here have enlarged their photos so we can really see their faces. And these faces speak to you, all of them, especially when they look straight in your eyes like this one does here. So here we have Henry Adams, and it's like he's staring directly at you and going, I'm a piece of shit. They're father and daughter, yes. Oh my gosh. So we've got Lillian Adams and Henry Adams. I don't think he thought much of himself. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think he's saying to you? Wow. It brings it all really home when you can see their faces, when you can see who these people that were here looked like. I'm going to head back down the stairs. And I think we might have to finish off, guys. We'll do a few more lives this evening, but it's for people who want to jump on and watch. But I think we'll finish off our Q&A now. Have you still got me on? Okay. Don't.
Oh, right, we're back. Here I was saying it wasn't
were
going
muted.
too bad, and then I realised I was muted. All right.
We've got another lady that's come in that we haven't introduced. Would you like
This
to
is
come
Joe,
in?
and
Hi, Joe.
I don't know
Come
where
pop your
Emily
head in.
went. Emily disappeared on me too.
Where's Emily?
Em, come here. You got to get your face on camera.
Yeah, we'll introduce the two of
So-
you.
You've got to meet the rest of the Twisted team.
Joe's another one of our investigators. So she does a lot of the investigation tours on the weekends for us. And then Emily is, she does our phone. So if you ring up to book a tour, you might get to talk to her.
Be nice.
And she's also plays Gentle Annie, who was one of our prostitute nurses here. So that's the character she takes on. We love our prosies.
I want to hear that story.
There wasn't a lot about it, but really, so the reason that we picked her is when we were looking in the newspaper, it's like Gentle Annie has arrived and her countenance is anything but.
There was a stage when I was doing a lot of musical theatre, and I always got cast in the role of a hooker. Apparently this face either says hooker or murderer, depending on what show I'm in. Anyway, I would just like to thank everyone from the Twisted History team for being here. So if you want to book a tour with these guys, what's your website?
www.twistedhistory.net.au.
Oh, you're a .net.
Yeah, or if you want to look at the museum side of it, it's Geelong Gaol with the old way of spelling GAOL.com.au.
And
because we have two.
that is going to wrap us up for this evening, unless we do some little lives, as Renata was saying. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please send us lots of hearts right now, because Facebook likes it when you send hearts, not angry faces.
Did someone send an angry face?
I think it was
Who
somebody
was
who really
that?
liked you. I think it might have been, that poor Jeanette was sad, but I think that's because of some of the stories. So Paddy Broughton gave us an angry face, but I think that was an accident, which happens every feed.
And that's what we're going to believe anyway.
Yes, because I was saying how awesome you were, so they didn't think it was horrible. Yeah, all right. We're a little tired because we had a big night last night with our show, and we are now going to crack on and do some investigating with these guys. So
Yeah.
we're very excited.